So here's the truth, I am not some professional researcher. I don't work for a think tank. I don't have a secret clearance. I don't even have a decent haircut. What I do have is an unhealthy obsession with finding the weirdest, most mind-bending stuff happening in the world right now, while normal people are watching sports or sleeping. I'm out here reading about hidden civilizations under Antarctica, leaked alien files, and governments playing chess with AI. If that sounds like something you want more of, then help me out. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and let's grow this thing. Because honestly, the bigger this channel gets, the deeper we can go and trust. Me, it gets way weirder than you think.
It's pretty crazy, just like looking into the Matrix.
If ChatGPT sounds like a stranger when you're chatting with it, it's because you've never introduced yourself to it. So to get ahead of 99% of people, you need to create your master prompt.
Get that master prompt on.
Having a document of all of your preferences. I'm the CEO of a media company. I have a team of 20-some people. Create a master prompt for my role. Ask me all the questions that you would need to fill in the blanks to give you the most context. And then once you've got that all done, say generate the master prompt, it's gonna generate it, and then save it as a PDF. Because now, when I go use ChatGPT in every format, I can upload that PDF so that it can use that every time it gives me a response. If ChatGPT sounds like a stranger when you're chatting with it, it's because you've never introduced yourself.
By far the most convincing evidence that I've heard for us being in a simulation is, you know, that S that just appears everywhere, the one with like the 3 lines and then the 3 lines and then the triangles that has just been showing up all throughout history, all throughout the world. That S has been showing up in schools everywhere. Somehow just everyone knows it. So the theory is that that S is the logo for the company that runs our simulation. And that by far the most convincing evidence that I've heard for us being in a simulation.
Students across the country are posting images of what's on the menu at their schools in a new phenomenon called lunch shaming.
How is that milk? Cafeteria food has always been the butt of jokes, but this isn't funny.
Look at what they're giving us at lunch.
Students, disgusted by what they're being served, are taking their beef online.
Look at this. This is the main meal. It looks like puke and applesauce. Nasty.
In Paterson, New Jersey, parents are up in arms after images of moldy food and expired milk were shared online. Can you even tell what this is? Apparently, it's supposed to be a chicken cheesesteak sandwich.
It was disgusting, and I definitely would not feed that to my children. I'm not sure that I would feed it to my pet.
Before the pandemic, many schools used to make lunch in the cafeteria. Due to staff,
I'm not sure I even feed that to my pet.
Issues, those days are gone.
I just said it looked like dog food.
Lunch is prepared by outside vendors. Students in Woodbridge, New Jersey say the food is inedible.
There's enough that students across the country are posting images of what's on the menu at their schools in a new phenomenon called lunch shaming.
Why is the lunch for South Korean students famous around
See, look at that. Look at that.
After watching this video, you will surely be surprised. This is a high school in Busan, South Korea. Every morning, these workers begin preparing lunch for the school because this is the food the students will eat. So hygiene standards are very strict, and even the water is carefully checked. First, the workers wash the vegetables, and this process is repeated 3 times. Unlike lunches in American schools, the main food in Korea is usually rice, which is also combined with nutritious corn kernels. Today, the chef will mix the rice with vegetables. It includes rice, bean sprouts, chili, and corn. This vegetable rice dish is very flavorful and is a Korean specialty. The first dish is Korean chili soup. The workers add various vegetables and chili to the pot, and it takes about 30 minutes to cook. The second dish is green onion pancakes, each made by hand. And to add more nutrition, the chef also adds shrimp. These chicken drumsticks are the third dish that will be marinated first, then baked in the oven for 20 minutes and
sounds
covered
good.
with secret sauce.
Look at that chicken.
When the drumsticks are ready, the chef will prepare the fourth dish, chicken stewed with radish and seasoned with soy sauce.
And it's got like vegetables and everything.
Lunches are provided for free, and the government will inspect the quality. If there are any hygiene issues, the school will face severe penalties. To make the students' lunch more nutritious, the meals are prepared by professional nutritionists. Not only are there protein-rich meat dishes, but also fruit and vegetable salads rich in vitamins.
Vitamins.
11 a.m. Today's dessert is hot sausage bread, and the fruit includes pineapple and tomatoes. What do you think about this free lunch? Why is the
Looks
lunch
good. I eat that.
Did you know that one man chose death over silence and changed philosophy forever? In 399 BC, 70-year-old Socrates calmly lifted a cup of hemlock poison to his lips. Athens was known for free speech and open debate, but Socrates had made too many enemies. His relentless questioning exposed the ignorance of powerful politicians and religious leaders. They charged him with corrupting youth and disrespecting the gods. During his trial, he refused to apologize, instead defending the right to question everything. The poison worked slowly, paralyzing his body.
That's right, you have to question everything.
As feeling left his legs, he continued teaching his students until his final breath. His last words were about owing a rooster to the god of healing. His death created the ultimate example of dying for your beliefs. Did you know that one man chose...
Did you know that the passengers in WALL-E were all cannibals? At the beginning of the movie,
I've heard this theory before. It's a good one.
a little later, we find out that instead of the planned 5 years, they've been in space for 7
We're probably doing this today with our fast food industry.
hundreds of years. Think about it. All the passengers are obviously way too lazy to do any of the work required to grow food. And throughout the movie, we never see any animals or plants on board that would suggest the robots are taking care of that. Yet everyone on the Axiom is clearly very well fed, and the food seems to be endless. And here's the strange part. We have no idea what happens to the bodies of passengers who die. We know they're not being disposed of because we see the trash area with no corpses in sight. And since there are no bodies projected into space either, something strange is going on. Now comes the really dark part. Near the end of the film, we find out that the ship's autopilot has been following a directive to prevent humans from returning to Earth. And since it isn't human, it has no problem doing whatever it takes to keep following that directive. So that must mean that in order to avoid returning to Earth, it has been recycling human corpses into food. And that's how it fed humanity for centuries. Did you know that the passengers in WALL-E were all...
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me.
Definitely gotta mix it up with some shit.
Matrix hides sacred geometry in plain sight, and by extension, if you hide sacred geometry, you hide the nature of our
survival protein.
Geometry is everywhere. It is hidden in plain sight. But
definitely mix it up in this smoothie first, though.
Taught to look for it. It is the blueprint of existence itself. It is the divine code that underlines nature, the cosmos, and even your own body. From the endless spirals found in nature, to the petals of flowers, to the spider webs, from the chambers of your heart to the frequency of the stars, everything follows this divine blueprint. It is the fingerprint of the Creator, and they put it right in front of your face. They need to disclose the truth in plain sight, guys. They engrave it into money, into government buildings, into the layout of their societies, and into the logos that you see every single day on all of the products that they create. And by hiding geometry, they hide reality. Because when you disconnect people from the patterns that govern creation itself, you disconnect them from the truth.
Yeah, I see these patterns everywhere.
All of our
some of them are on purpose, and some of them are just like, well, it's working over there, so I'm gonna do it over here.
All of it.
It looks cool.
Crop circles, all coded.
Some people just don't even know anymore. They're just doing it.
Not your, just simple people going in there.
That's a Toronto field.
This is a divine blueprint.
Look at that.
The people who did this, the beings that created crop circles, know about the sacred nature of our entire universe. Is no coincidence whatsoever. Pyramids that were built all around the world, they're not just random blocks, they're aligned perfectly with all of the stars. Aliens did all of this, guys.
Well, some of those crop circles are actually made by humans. They were man-made.
Crop circles,
and then some of them are unexplained.
Divine blueprints, sacred geometry, mathematical
This can't be true. He might be onto something. They're saying we live underneath a hologram. The sky is not the sky. It's not a firmament. They're saying it's a hologram, that the earth still remains flat. It's not the only thing they've been lying to us about. TV shows, commercials, and movies explain this. This is for educational purposes only. Watch the video to the end. Comment below.
You think that flat earth is any different than any other truths they put in the movies, TV shows, and commercials? Well, I got something to show you.
They were doing this in that one movie. Oh, this is the movie, actually, yeah. What was it called? Hunger Games. That's right. But it wasn't because, like, reality was fake. They were just inside the dome for the fight.
Or what about the
that one?
firmament in King Kong?
Well, that one, he was actually living underground in Agartha. In the movie, he's under the Earth's surface.
Guys, it's been right there all along, right in your face. In the movies, TV shows, and commercials. Or remember this scene?
I'd rather just not have cops at all. The cops aren't stopping the crime. Our government's scamming us. We pay for a police force, and it's like we live in a police state and it's still not safe. The cops are not focusing on the crime. I could point you to the neighborhood where all the crime's happening. Like, go hang out there. Go patrol that area. But that's not what they do. They're out here handing speeding tickets out to middle class.
Well, that's where the money is.
On their way to work. I pay taxes for you to have a job, and then you don't make the place safe. You just, like, harass people on...
It's easy to make money when you're just giving out speeding tickets to people.
They don't even pay a ticket. The cops just
can actually afford it, right?
They're avoiding doing their job, and they're just targeting people who they can leech more money off of. I do not appreciate cops handing out speeding tickets. That's where I have
I wonder how many speeding tickets you got.
Focus on the actual stuff.
Right.
There's
What if I told you that St. Christopher, who is often depicted as a dog-headed saint, actually was a dog-headed saint? And not only that, but I could prove it. Would you keep watching? You see, not only have these dog-headed creatures been talked about throughout history, but I actually found one. A petrified one. A really, really, really well-known petrified one. But before I show you actual evidence of the Egyptian demigod Anubis's remains, I gotta build a case. And I'm gonna let a few people who have built the case for this do this for me.
Throughout history, there have been numerous accounts of dog-headed people living in distant lands. You've probably seen images of the cynocephalus before. Cyno means dog, and cephalus means of the head. For example, you've probably seen the Egyptian god Anubis, the god of death and embalming. Anubis has been found in Egyptian tombs, and he has the body of a man and the head of a jackal. This is a cynocephalus. The detailed written accounts by explorers, conquerors, and missionaries of these cynocephali in India, Asia, Africa, and Europe are actually rather consistent. In fact,
those are all wiped out.
Beasts were described in writings as recent,
just like dragons.
a few hundred years.
What if I told you that St. Christopher, who is often depicted as a...
That'd be crazy. I don't know. I think that might be cap.
Every American sitting at home right now needs to realize that you are paying for a genocide.
Rise up! Rise up, America! Rise up! It is time to take back this country from these corrupt politicians. It is time. It is beyond time.
We're going out to the loaded dog.
They have a lot of decorations there in the uniforms.
That was Josephine Gilbo, I believe I'm saying her name wrong, and Anthony Aguilar. They are obviously two people who work for the military. They interrupted a foreign affairs hearing today. I believe it was today, and that was them telling us what I've been saying. We are beyond time for revolution. The revolution is not going to happen through your politicians. The revolution is not going to happen through your president. Revolutions always happen through the people. The reason why we are not liberated, the reason why, Palestine isn't free, the reason why all that is happening is because we, the people, are not rising up. It's why I tell people every single day, stop telling me what's right. Show me what's right. Live it. It's time to embody it. It's time to embody it. This is why we started the Pro-Human Political Party, right? This is why we're going on a tour starting in Sacramento. This is why we're calling everybody.
The biggest sign of someone with low cognitive ability, they can never really meet you on your level. You're talking logic. They're hearing emotions. You're laying out structure. They're wondering if you're looking down on them. You're pointing out facts, and in their head, you're just showing off. Talking to them drains you because you're not even on the same channel. You bring reason. They play the emotion card. You explain cause and effect. They accuse you of being cold-blooded. Eventually, you just give up because trying to wake up a brain that lacks self-reflection is a pointless fight. People with low cognition can't tell the difference between facts and opinions. Their emotions always outweigh the facts, and their stance always comes before logic. They're usually bursting with confidence, but lack even the most basic logical training. They color the world with their emotions, pass judgment on everything through bias, and as a result, rational discussion turns into petty fights. Structural analysis turns into who do you think you are, and questioning becomes you're overthinking it. In their world, facts don't exist, only what I believe and who I hate. That's what makes them dangerous. A person without boundaries of fact is impossible to communicate with, impossible to guide, and impossible to change. What's worse is that they replace critical thinking with personal attacks. You're trying to break down a structure, they question your character, you're discussing a social issue, they accuse you of being
these can be all
dumb.
facts right
You
here.
suggest that something deserves reflection, they shoot back with, what's wrong with you? They never look at the issue itself, only at you. That's not by accident. It's a defense mechanism. They can't handle the cognitive shock of a complex world, so they attack whoever raises the question to protect their fragile sense of self. To put it bluntly, when they don't understand, they attack. In an increasingly complex world, these people become a real social hazard. What makes them lethal is their love for banding together and hyping each other up. A single low cognition person isn't scary. What's scary is when they gather online, building echo chambers, spreading rumors in group chats, or forming emotional support clubs
but you
in
can
real
just
life to
ignore all
validate
that
each
and
other's paranoia and
just keep
ignorance.
living. None of that shit has to affect
They
you.
don't think something looks.
Yeah, so that's just affect you.
This is the first step.
Move on.
Path to a gateway.
The gateway experience. I've heard a lot about this.
Your own discovery of reality, of truth, of who and what you are. Now a simple preparation. Because of the special audio techniques used, it's important that certain sounds reach your right ear and others your left ear. To be sure of this, you should be hearing my voice in your right ear at this moment. If you are not hearing my voice in your right ear, turn your headphones around now so that you are hearing my voice in your right ear.
Oh yeah, it sounds like beach waves.
This is the first step along your path to a gateway beyond which is discovery, your own discovery of reality, of truth, of who and what you are. Now a simple preparation. Because of the special audio techniques used, it's important that certain sounds reach your right ear and others your left ear.
You hear all those little sounds?
Hearing my voice in your right ear at this moment.
They used to make you listen to that when you're a kid at school and shit.
Your right ear.
For a hearing test.
Your headphones around now, so that you are hearing my voice in your.
Now this must be the most disturbing video that you've seen in your life. I watched this video when someone shared it, and when I watched it, I've never been the same since.
On one side of the date line at the Diomede Islands at the most narrow point, allegedly, you have a 10 a.m. on a Saturday, but a 7 a.m. on a Sunday, which leaves a 3 hours of missing time. They have entered empty space into this region here. Or let's say they've created space by removing something. When I measured 3 time zones, it is approximately 1,000 miles. So the 3 time zones, how big is that? How much land would that be if you were to measure that? So I took just a snip across 3 time zones and took that same snip and I just created a space. So it looks like the land at the top goes all the way across, and I started to follow it across and I said, hey, it actually comes down here, and Terra means land, and I saw this land off the coast of North America. And that actually says Terra de Jesu. And it is right there in the middle of the Pacific. And when I type that into the Latin to English translation, it says the land of Jesus. This here is North America. And it used to, even on the Mercator map, all the way up to the top, it's called California. And this land in the middle is called Terra de Jesu. And this here is called the Mer de Jesu, the Sea of Jesus.
That's worth looking up.
On that side, and we have one straight on that side.
Where did that come from?
Straight is the gate, and they have deleted.
It's old Tartarian wreckage.
Removing the time zones. On the old maps, everything counts upward all the way around. So you'd have 180, 185, and they go up by.
And you gotta look at it from the angle of the way we look at the moon map.
In the new version of the spherical Earth, they actually remove that and they stop everything at 180, and then they count backwards to the opposite meridian, which is in Greenwich. So therefore, they've completely cancelled out any problem of people wondering what happened to these longitudes.
But brother, can somebody tell me why they calling this the land?
That was pretty good.
Did you know all our standardized textbooks were published by Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell? Yeah. He owned Pergamon Press, and in the 80s and 90s, they dominated academic publishing. Pergamon Press was able to control ideas, hike prices, and able to assert their agenda into the mind of virtually everyone.
None of this surprises me.
If that doesn't make you question anything, I don't know what will.
The whole world's a fucking theater. Shakespeare said that.
Oh, you son of a bitch. What have you done?
You're the son of a bitch.
You've only gone and done it again. They've done it again, people. What have they done, you ask? That's a good question. Good question, brother. So where should I start? Yeah, I'ma start right here. Yeah? The news. The news. That's all I need to say. Alright? School. School is another place that they lied. light, brother. For the black people out there, do you remember when they taught us about black history? Oh, you son of an animal.
You son of an animal.
There must have been about 3 black boys in the class. Me, Leroy, and Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy. Good guy.
They played the videotape. That's right, videotape.
Amistad.
We didn't have no internet, no DVDs. Videotape.
I remember I watched that in the class.
Played a videotape of some black people naked, running around in the woods. In the woods. It wasn't even a forest. They showed me black people naked, walking around in the woods.
Sounds like a pretty good day at school, though.
And then they started getting whipped and put on the boat. And that was black history. That's all they taught us in school.
Yeah, that's all cap history, though.
Say that's your great granddad. Oh, you son of a bitch.
Son of an animal.
Granddad was a mole. Yeah. We're from a royal lineage. Kings, queens, warriors, and yes, bully slave. Oh, you son of a bitch.
I don't believe the earth is flat and stationary because I believe in the Bible. I believe in the Bible because the earth is flat and stationary. You know who else knows the earth is flat and stationary? Your U.S. government. You want to see where
Yeah, it's like on every NASA document.
A place called the Library of Congress. Map of the square and stationary earth. Right at the Library of Congress.
Yeah, they reference it, the flat, unmoving earth in every NASA document.
This isn't the only one. Nope. Library of Congress. New and correct map of flat, stationary earth.
Yep.
Where the center is the North Pole. And east goes in circles and west goes in circles.
Because that's how a toroidal field works. It goes around inward. That's it.
South circle. Australia is south because everything away from the center is south. And east and west are circles around the center. And it says here about the sun. The light travels east and west because the sun circles around us, east to west. Now, why would the Library of Congress have such interesting maps? Just from 1920, but we've known the Earth was a globe for hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, Galileo proved gravity, and Copernicus proved it. We've known it. Well, maybe these guys and the guys who run that don't want you to know where you live because, like I said in the beginning, it will prove to you that the Bible is true and they all hate God and they all hate Jesus. And they subtly program your mind to make you think stationary, flat Earth is stupid too. Have a listen.
Future, they want to be stuck in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard this kind of thinking before.
It's terrible thinking, right?
Let me tell you something.
So terrible.
If some of these folks were around when Columbus set sail,
when you're going to sail over the edge of the flat Earth, that's what they do. To make you think it's stupid.
They must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society. They would not have believed that the world was round.
Mock it. You see, I used to think the Bible was all allegorical and nonsense. And then I figured out where I lived. And I figured out that the Bible is maybe the only truth left. And did you know there's 200 Bible verses telling all of us where we live? 200 of them. The Bible is a flat earth book. It goes on and on. The earth is on pillars. It's immovable. So many. Over and over and over again. All talking about stationary, flat, corners? Immovable? No. I mean, if you're someone that already believes the Bible and you think you live on a globe still, well, guess what? Have you ever heard of biblical cosmology? You know, the belief that they all used to have, all the ancient civilizations leading up to ours, who is supposedly the most civilized and technologically advanced. Have you heard of the pyramids? Do you know we can't reproduce how they made the pyramids? Oh, and you think slaves pull them up? That's great. Hilarious, in fact. You see, if you're a Christian and you still live in a globe, shame on you for not spending time on actually reading the Bible with fresh eyes instead of the indoctrinating.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I remember when I was younger, the flat earth stuff came up and then
like the public
it went away. Now it's popped back up again.
To hide God from you and to hide the fact that we live in a spiritual realm and not a spinning ball. And I'm just here trying to help you figure that out. Biblical cosmology, flat, enclosed with the firmament.
And down here is the
above
Sheol.
What's
that, hell?
You should get to know him.
The Great Deep.
He doesn't want you living on a ball. But of course, all this is for entertainment purposes. I know that the Library of Congress has this.
Russia and Greenland. That's why we want Greenland, right?
Satire account. Entertainment only.
Did you know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson sold his soul for 20 years of fame? In the late 90s, he was an unknown wrestler. Then suddenly his
well, you can say that now that he lost all that weight.
Millions of fans.
See, it makes sense, right?
Luck. It was
yeah, you can say that.
The price
anytime somebody gets sick or something.
Strength and muscles. 20 years without defeat, he became the symbol of The Rock. But the devil always collects.
It's just sad what happened if he got sick.
In 2025, he suddenly appeared in public looking exhausted, skinny, without his legendary mass. Fans were shocked. Where did his rock go? And the scariest part is what the contract said. On the 20th...
Oh, like there's an actual contract and we all read it?
Now people are asking, is it just...
Super Cap.
Book published in 1886. You could build a nice cottage home for $1,500. That's $50,000 in today's money. This book...
Yeah, it's like 100 years ago, though.
What the fucking kind of bridge is this? This is the Shima Ohashi Bridge. It is a popular internet famous bridge in Japan. Often dubbed the craziest or scariest bridge in the world.
What
the
fucking
kind of bridge is this? This is Magdeburg Water Bridge. It is an incredibly amazing design. It enables ships to sail on the highway as well, achieving a perfect integration of engineering and nature.
What the fucking kind of bridge is this?
This is a Baipanjiang Bridge with a vertical height of around 565 meters. It once held the world record for the tallest bridge and remains one of the tallest globally today.
What the fucking kind of bridge?
That's fucking terrifying.
This is Moses Bridge. It is an invisible bridge where the water surface is level with the passage, making people feel as if they are walking on water.
What the fucking kind of bridge is this?
This is Longtana Bridge. It was once the world's tallest bridge, spanning 2 mountain peaks. It feels like wandering in the clouds when fog rolls in.
What the fucking kind of bridge is this?
This is Hosseini Bridge, made of just a few suspension cables and planks. Though it looks dangerous, it is actually not safe at all.
What the fucking kind of bridge is this?
This is Capilano Suspension Bridge. It attracts over...
Yeah, man, I get it. There's a lot of crazy bridges out there. Oh, there you go. This is... It does it so quickly, too.
Jobs are so stupid. My manager gonna tell me, he said, I feel like you only come here for a paycheck. Duh, you think I come here for fun? No, I'm not here for the betterment of the company. I hope y'all fail. I hope y'all don't open tomorrow. Jobs are so...
If you're having a bad day, just remember, it's your fault. All the decisions you've made in your entire life have led you to this very moment. And it seems as though those decisions...
I feel like you only come here for a paycheck.
Maybe next time.
Duh.
If you're having a bad day, just remember, it's your fault. All the decisions you've made in your entire...
Anything like that?
No, wait a minute.
That's cool, but I don't know, that's a little extra.
Before i5s, these are iTours i5s. These are powered. And right now we're playing a frequency. There's a 12-channel amplifier that's powering all 5 of your iTours coils.
Yeah, but what's it gonna do? You time travel with that shit? No. You just probably sleep a little better, maybe?
Propagation of the Food and Drug Administration is what creates these parasitical entities inside the physiology.
This is the real problems right here.
It's tether connected to the moon that's being controlled by archonic forces. So the archons...
Yeah, make sure you have a good diet. Maybe do a little fasting and get rid of these parasites.
That's why in a full moon, a lot of people, their parasites start to basically unravel and they start to discombobulate in the system.
Order pizza, drink beer, eat chocolate.
Being controlled by the
They want that shit.
This is how they control people. The great majority of these parasites have the ability to replicate themselves through the Toxoplasma gondii. And that Toxoplasma gondii is how they connect themselves to the reptilian cortex of the brain to where you're operating from a place of fight or flight. So you're not existing, you're surviving in a system that is built on illusions. A lot of people, they have an emotional connection to everything in the third dimension because the emotional connection is the biochemicalization that's coming from the genetically modified foods that's feeding the parasites. So the parasites is making you emotionally connected to the system. So the real alien invasion is really the parasites that's infiltrating the body that's being controlled by archonic forces in the lower fourth dimension when you're talking about the demiurge.
Boom,
How
facts.
much money will you be investing?
600 billion. $250 billion. 75 to 80 billion dollars.
Can I just get like 1
Tech leaders at the
million?
White House to discuss artificial intelligence, including
Just
OpenAI
drop me
Meta's
an
Mark
M.
Zuckerberg, Apple's Tim Cook, and Microsoft's Satya Nadella. Trump went around the table and asked
Bro said
investors
$6
how much
billion,
to invest within the
like
US.
it's
You've
$6.
done an incredible job with Apple, little company called Apple. How much money will
A little company called Apple.
in the United States?
600 billion.
600 billion. It's a lot of jobs.
We're very proud to do it.
That's great. What about Microsoft? That's a big number.
Here we're close to, in the United States, around 75 to 80 billion dollars.
Elon Musk was notably absent in this meeting, who was a close ally with Trump and had a public falling out with him earlier this year.
How much money will you be investing?
600 billion.
This is the beginning of your political career.
No, it's not.
UK, strange things happening over there. They are cracking.
Billionaires Club.
Surprisingly so, and I've spoken to the Prime Minister. I'm very surprised to see what's happening. Sad. It's not a good thing. This is the beginning of your political career.
After the reset, after the plagues, after the Black Death and the floods, there was movement, a lot of it orphan trains, mass relocations. People shifted like pieces on a board without ever knowing the game. But what if it wasn't chaos? What if it was inheritance? What if they weren't rebuilding? They were simply stepping into what was left. The clothes, the buildings, the cities already wired for sound, the domes tuned to frequency, the architecture that looked the same no matter what country you were in. Because back then, there were no borders, only blueprints, one civilization, one resonance. And after the mud flood, when entire levels of Earth were buried, who do you think got access to what was hidden underground? Not the orphaned, not the poor, the rich, the kings, the priests, the rulers of the New World. And suddenly, they were the ones in copper-threaded robes, staying in palaces they didn't build, wearing symbols they didn't understand, calling themselves divine in temples they just renamed. They weren't royal, they were playing dress-up with your history, with your inheritance, with your memory. And that's why the architecture still whispers, because it remembers what they pretended to forget.
Truth is right there.
What's up, Jakeheads? Today we're doing an any % glitch speedrun of a day in my life. Let's get into it. You're gonna notice I'm backwards B-hopping a lot. That's because backwards velocity is actually uncapped. Next, I'm gonna throw water on myself and take a shot. This will convince the game that I've taken a shower and had something to drink. This right here is called Grandma Skip. You tell your boss your grandma's sick, you get to skip the whole workday. That was actually discovered by Shizzy Wizzy in '96, so shout out Shizzy Wizzy. Quick no clip through the corner, gonna skip the whole neighbor scene. We're taking shots all throughout the day, you'll see why later. You actually just need to pass through the threshold and then go back and the game will consider you taking a full run. Sock Jake in the face to skip stupid dialogue. Line up the parallel dimensions. Quick no-clip back up to the bedroom, and if we timed it right, the drunk debuff will just be wearing out and we'll be able to get right to sleep. That's time. That's time. What's up, dickheads? Today we're doing...
If you're in a race and you beat the second person, what place are you in now?
I'm the winner.
Dumb bitch.
If I beat the second person, I'm the winner. First place.
He's like, yeah?
If you're in a race and
you think you've seen dirty water? You haven't seen anything until you've seen the Ganges
River
in India.
I've seen that. It's so gross.
This is a toxic soup containing the entire periodic table of elements.
You just go in it and get sick.
It makes an open sewer look pristine, packed with giant catfish that look like they're mutating in the muck. People throw everything in there. We're talking used sanitary pads, clumps of toilet paper, industrial sewage, and daily garbage. And here's the kicker. They call it their mother river. But with all that stuff floating in it, it looks more like a planetary scale toilet bowl. The water has E. coli levels thousands of times over the safe limit, and the eye-watering stench alone is powerful enough to knock you out. But here's the truly wild part. People believe bathing in it is a sacred blessing that grants peace and health. During festivals, tens of thousands of people jump in to celebrate, splashing around and partying among floating feces and other unidentified objects. And if that's not enough, they don't even hesitate to scoop up the water for a big drink. The dark irony is that while they pray for health, some reportedly drop dead the very next day after their holy dip, and it's not uncommon for teenage girls to end up with serious infections after a swim. Honestly, you have to admit, the people there are just built different, completely on another level. So would you jump in?
Nope.
In one viral clip, Luna introduces viewers to something he calls the Lunar Levitation Press.
I do about 10 of those every morning.
Rise.
Just to get my abs going.
Another clip shows a feat Luna dubs the Chakra Smash.
He kind of looks like Krillin.
Luna dramatically punches his palm onto the ground, which somehow propels him off the ground, as if harnessing unseen energy for levitation. In one viral clip, Luna introduces...
Breaking news, y'all. We got a bug called the kissing bug that's deadly. They already reported that it's in 32 states, y'all. Experts are saying over 100,000 people might already have it. The fuck? Look at the states they in. So when these bugs kiss you, they give you a parasite. Now, if they bite you, it's way worse. You end up with Chagas disease. That's crazy. It's a parasite that they leave in you, and some people don't even know. They say they like to bite your ass when you're sleeping. Now the signs that you need to watch out for, the early stage symptoms, it's like a fever, maybe get like somewhere you swollen up in the eye, and the lip, fatigue. They saying, y'all, if you catch it too late, this parasite can cause digestive organ damage, heart failure, or sudden death. So if it's in you for too long, that's what can happen. So if you in those states, go check on your health. Make sure you ain't got those symptoms.
Nope.
What the hell?
Así que vamos a preparar. What the fuck? This is where you got cooking level 0. He's burned his house down. It came back to life. That shit about to explode.
Did you know that some Japanese scientists carried out a terrifying experiment on living humans? The goal was to study the limits of the human body against the cold. For the experiment, they used prisoners, mainly Chinese and Russian civilians. They were forced to expose their arms and legs to the cold.
We use the Chinese.
Then the scientists checked if the limbs were completely frozen by hitting them with a stick. If they sounded like wood, the experiment was considered successful. But the worst part came afterward. They submerged the frozen parts in boiling water or put them over fire until the flesh melted away and the bones were exposed. And the most horrifying thing of all is that they did this without anesthesia. The victims were fully conscious throughout the experiment, screaming in pain until they lost their voices, while the doctors calmly took...
That's the only way you're gonna get like an actual result, if it hurts or how bad it hurts or what happens.
But one of the hundreds of horrors documented from Unit 731, a reminder of how far human cruelty can go when life is reduced to a mere object of study.
What you all just witnessed was an act of utter cruelty. So cruel, in fact, that the man in the video had his head covered to hide his shame from God. At least that's what the comments said, so I did some research to figure out just what exactly was he consuming. Just what could fill him with such shame and guilt at this fine dining table. He was consuming this! The ortolan, a small defenseless bird that after being captured by the humans, its eyes are immediately plucked out. And that's just step one. It is then force-fed grains and barley, its tormentors ever the more incessant, forcing it to consume more than it is now.
Why? What's with the eye thing?
Its demand that it thinks nothing more than a feed, forced to mimic.
I see here in the comments it's a French delicacy.
Have shackled it within. After this period,
of course it would be French.
Abject darkness, it is able to fly once more, only after its physical body has been drowned in a container of brandy. Look! You can see the endless torture it was forced to endure. They consider it a part of the flavor profile. May God have mercy on those who willingly devour this dish.
Did you know a scientist literally experienced 47 different versions of the same day and used it to save 12 lives? In 2019, Dr. Rebecca Sterling was working late in her quantum physics lab at MIT. She had been researching how human consciousness might exist outside normal time. But that night, a power surge caused her cardiac arrest for 18 minutes. What happened next changed everything we know about reality. While clinically dead, Sterling experienced the same 24-hour period over and over, each time with small differences, different conversations, altered outcomes, varied choices. She retained perfect memory of every single loop when doctors revived her, 47 complete timeline variations all stored in her mind. The most shocking part came 3 days later. Using knowledge from her timeline experiences, she prevented a lab explosion. She knew exactly which equipment would fail and when. 12 researchers went home alive that night because she had lived through their deaths.
That's pretty crazy.
The documented case proves consciousness can transcend
like the real-life
linear
Groundhog's
time,
Day.
just like those.
Did you know that scientists tested 1,000 people to compare Apple and Android users? Apple users were seen as louder, more social, and glued to their phone. Android users came out more humble, polite, and even more trustworthy. Think about it. Android shows you care about features, not just status. At the end of the day, your phone says more about you than you think. Did you know that scientists...
All of the walls
I've heard that.
to hide Tartarian buildings, and these Tartarian buildings are indeed buildings from the 1,000 years of Jesus, and they are also Roman buildings. Now, if you need proof that these buildings aren't Tartarian and they're buildings from Jesus 1,000 years in Roman, go watch my other videos. This isn't that. But as you can see, Tartaria was just a small group of people in Asia. It was not worldwide. So we actually need an explanation for these buildings, who built them, and why they were taken out. Places like Dresden, Germany do not exist today because they were all bombed and utterly destroyed by the world wars. And not even just the world wars. This is literally Vietnam. Buildings like this should not be existing there from the 1800s. These are buildings from Jesus 1,000 years. This is in Cuba. This literally looks like the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Even when it comes down to the stones and how they're placed over the archways, that literally looks like Washington, D.C. And if Washington, D.C. really is a Roman building, then this is also Roman. And as you can see, a lot of these buildings will be dated by Anno and then the dating. Anno standing for Anno Domini or AD, which means when Jesus came back. And you can see J's, meaning 687 years and 1,000 years of Jesus. Or an I, which stands for Jesus, which is Jesus in Latin and Greek. And it's not just the world wars. They literally took down all these old world buildings. Why would they take down something like this in Detroit, where Detroit looked beautiful before? It used to flourish, it had a good economy. And now look at Detroit. Detroit is a horrible city. Why though? Why would they ruin their own economy and own tourism for literally what? I can't even fathom an explanation for that. And if we are truly in the devil's time of deception, it makes sense to why all these buildings are always dated after 1776, which is when the devil was released. And that's where you get all these new technologies coming out. That's where all these buildings were made and destroyed.
Yeah, we've already had all this technology for years.
Buildings were uncovered. Why?
Centuries, probably.
At the same time we were uncovering and rediscovering all these new buildings and technologies, we were also going out of our way to destroy the same things we were uncovering. Is it because they proved something that was far greater? And
that's it.
This might be the best piece of advice anyone has ever shared with me. You have to always assume positive intent. What this means is, if someone cuts you off in traffic, assume they're rushing to the hospital or they have to go poop. If a professor shouts at you in class or gives you a sassy response, assume they woke up this morning and had an argument with their significant other, not that it's something personal and they're mad at you. It takes just as much energy to assume someone is having a positive intent with our interaction with us as it takes for us to assume they have a negative intention.
Man, this guy is dead on. First of all, there's just way too much anger out in the world these days. I mean, we see video after video.
Those are all facts right there. You can create your own reality. You don't have to sit there and be upset about
every
bullshit.
human that makes under $20 an hour that's watching right now needs to hear me. I see a business in the future where people get paid to walk with other people, create a Facebook account, and then run $10 of ads.
Yeah, because AI is going to take everything. You want that human reaction.
I live in Topeka, Kansas, and I live on this area, and I'll walk with anybody. I'll walk with you and talk and communicate and chop it up with anybody in this 10-mile radius and run ads, $10 in Facebook ads on that 10-mile radius. I think they build a straight-up business. Every human that makes...
This is a photograph of the alien from the movie Alien. This is what you
I've seen this one. He's really trying to push it.
Like if you eat some of the raw, frozen shrimp being sent to the United States by other countries. This is a...
You'd be a xenomorph.
Do you accept the fact that 1 million Americans died from COVID? I don't know how many died. You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services. You don't have any idea how many Americans died from COVID?
I don't think anybody knows that because there was so much data chaos coming out of the CDC, and there was so many perverse incentives. And these are modeled
You don't know the answer of how many Americans died from COVID. This is the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Do you think the vaccine did anything?
Well, he was just saying in his little scraggly voice.
I would like to.
There is a lot of misinformation.
You have had this job for 8 months, and you don't know that
This guy's just
whether the
being louder. That's the only strategy. Just be louder and cut him off, so he doesn't spit the facts out.
Absolutely dismal.
So when
RFK is 1,000% correct.
administration politicize all the data, go back to our camp.
Nobody knows how many people actually died from COVID. I bet nobody actually did. It was probably all fake.
They fired all the people who questioned the orthodoxy. They fired Dr. Gruber, Dr. Krause,
Mr. Chairman, the Secretary of Health and Human Services doesn't know how many Americans died from COVID. Doesn't know if the vaccine.
And this guy's trying to say millions.
And you are sitting as Secretary of Health and Human Services? How can you be that ignorant? Do you accept the fact than a million.
Oh man, you can call me ignorant, man. RFK, you so patient.
Because even the shadows follow the light, guys. This is an inevitable part of the journey.
I would have did my catch me outside.
High vibrational people attract haters because even the shadows follow the light. These haters or low vibrational people seek to pull you down with them. Hate only comes.
Oh, we just heard one of those fucking people talking.
And as you grow as a spiritual person, as your vibration ascends, your haters also grow. This is a good sign.